Welcome to the weekly Woodcast with Dennis and Michael Woodworth, and we are excited today to talk about a very special subject that I have a lot of interest in, and we have someone that I've known for, I won't say for how long.
No.
2 or 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Theresa, welcome to the studio today to talk about one of your fun things that you're doing in your life right now.
I'm very excited to be here, Dennis. And
I want to talk about being an entrepreneur. Because you're still working, right?
Absolutely.
You're a mother and a grandmother, right?
I am.
Which I find hard to believe, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
being a grandmother is my favorite job.
It is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You know, many moms that convert over to be a grandmother says that's the best chapter. You know,
It's amazing.
So you look at it, and you got your family life is you got your children and grandchildren, and now. You're working in the workforce, but you've really gone on to another part of your life, which is, being an entrepreneur.
Right.
And running a home business, adding to your life another stream of income, and a lot of tax advantages, having a home-based business as well. But you're in an area that really, I think, is greatly needed in society.
Absolutely.
And the educational portion of it is, I think, the most important part of it.
Right.
It's one thing to wear something for a fashion purpose, like I'm wearing right now.
Right.
And it's another thing to actually wear something that has purpose.
That's right. It's more to it.
And that's why I wanted to invite you to the studio.
Thank you.
All right. We're actually profiling certain entrepreneurs that are in our area to be able to educate people in our community and across the country, and in fact around the globe, that we have certain entrepreneurs and opportunities for them to reach out to us, and then we'll talk about later how they can get in touch with you and learn from you what you've learned, which I think is critically important in today's society, especially what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. I agree.
Let's just talk briefly about how you bumped into this concept.
Well, I moved away about 17 years ago. I was with a man, and after a 15-year relationship, it ended, and I was stuck. I was away from my daughter and my newly granddaughter and my parents, and I thought, well, I need to come back home and do something for me. Right? And I was introduced to essential oils through a coworker, Tammy Roeder. She told me all the benefits and bought my first kit. And then my daughter, who was a very earthy child, my daughter is like very earthy. She's wholeheartedly about the earth and being. I just can't explain her, and hopefully you'll be able to have a podcast with her. And I was going through some really bad times mentally and physically and emotionally, and she had introduced me to some tinctures she was making for pain and anxiety and whatever, and I wanted to do it for me, so I thought, well, maybe I should research this. So I did. And I came up with first just making these bracelets, and they were just for jewelry. But after I found out what the lava bead can do and what you can put in it to help you, it really changed my life. I work at Provincial Hearing Monday to Friday, and I do this, like you said, on the side. And I started having lots of pains in my hands, so bad that I couldn't even write, and I couldn't even put a file away in a filing cabinet.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Well, you think about it. A lot of people today have a lot of inflammation because of what we eat, especially what we eat.
Right.
So to combat that, you have to find things that can actually help heal your body.
Right.
And a lot of it comes from nature, right?
Absolutely. Yes, it does. So I researched it, and I just was starting to put different oils in different bracelets. I'd put thieves in because it smells good. It's full of cloves, and it's good for cleaning the air, and it's good for illnesses and colds. And then, of course, lavender to help you sleep and relax. Citrus and anything orange, lemony for colds and flus. And then I get into it deeper. Like really deep. And I started taking an aromatherapy course, and I started making these obsidian anti-swelling bracelets. And my dad, who's very ill, now has no legs and is probably not going to be here very much longer. But anyway, he was always sick, and I thought maybe I could help him too.
Right.
So I made these bracelets, and my dad started to wear it. And the swelling went down, and the circulation of his blood was better, and his heart was better. And I thought, it can't be the meds because he's been on these meds for forever.
Exactly.
It's my bracelet. And then I started to wear it. I can move my hands. They don't hurt. I can write. I can file a piece of paper. And I mean, filing a piece of paper, one sheet of paper was very, very painful, to the point that I would have to get my coworker to do it for me. And then I started to advertise them, and I was selling them like hotcakes. You know, people were saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is really making me feel better. I don't ache." I sold it to postal courier. Good friend of mine, he's been wearing it, doesn't have any pains in his legs. I sold it to a coworker, and she moved on a weekend and is normally, you know, complaining about her pain, and she has no pain. I'm not saying it's going to take a cure it, but it really, truly does help. There's all kinds of things that essential oils can do for you. And excuse me, I'm reading from paper, but
nothing wrong with that.
I don't have it all
documented,
memorized, right? Yeah. I do. So there's black pepper and cedar wood is really good for antiseptic. An antibiotic is tea tree or garlic. You can use that in anything.
Tea tree oil I've known for a long time.
Yeah, it's really, really good. An antidepressant essential oil is good. Lavender, bergamot, orange, clary sage, and lemongrass. You can add that to your carrier oil. You can spray it in a room. You can put it on your skin. You can add it to these bracelets. It's all good. There is a lot of benefits, health benefits for all kinds of the oils that we sell, but I buy. I add them to certain things to make your room smell better for some holiday spray. I've made men's aftershave. The aftershave that I've sold so far, men say they don't get the little bumps on their faces.
Yeah, it burns. When you shave, you're burning your skin.
Right.
Because you're taking a razor to your skin.
Right.
So the big thing for me, Theresa, is that if you open up a person's home and you go underneath their sink or go into their medicine cabinet in their bathroom, we find a lot of chemicals. I mean, a lot of chemicals. And we, growing up as kids, were exposed to all those.
Right.
I remember, like, growing up, and not my mother's fault because it's what we knew in the
Same
70s, right?
Yep.
Pine Sol, Mr. Clean.
Yep.
You know, we could smell that.
Yep.
We knew when we walked in, pine needles,
Yeah,
you know, Mom was
absolutely.
cleaning. So
Yeah.
we need to make some conscientious changes. I mean, there's a lot of things changing in the world right now, a lot. And I think one of the things we need to do, house by house, family by family, is to insert new technology
Right.
into their household so that they can make good decisions for their kids, kids and grandchildren.
Absolutely.
Right.
Grandchildren
Yeah,
especially.
yeah,
Just
absolutely.
saying.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate because we
Okay.
have two types of society, right?
Right.
I'm going to clear. Excuse me. We have that all sounds great, but I don't believe it type of segment
Right.
of society. Hocus pocus, yeah,
Yeah.
these beads and so on. Then you have inquisitive part of society that says, "Hey, show me the technology, show me what it does and how it does it." Right. So this bracelet here these are lava beads.
That's right. Yes.
So Michael, pull up on Google. What's the actual terminology of it? Like, what would you call it?
It's just it's a lava bead.
So a lava bead.
Yeah,
Pull up
that's
lava
it.
beads.
It's
on
just a simple
the
lava
effects
bead.
of
Yep.
lava beads.
Yep. You can wear them plain. You can, like I said, they're meant. It's a diffuser bracelet. You
Right.
can put in any oil that you want, or you can just wear it for whatever reason. But it has a lot of health benefits when you add the oils to
The
it.
oils.
Absolutely.
So I'm a big guy on stress because stress really is it breaks down your body in so many different ways. And when so many families have so much stress in their lives right now,
Yep.
it's incredibly prevalent in society that we need to do something about that. And diet's a part of it. Hydrating. We had Joe Holland in here and Candace Ernst talking about hydration, but then another part of it is supplementation. So you can supplement orally,
Right.
or you can supplement, with products like this. So what would you recommend for someone who had a lot of stress?
I truly, truly believe in the triple protection bracelet. There is black obsidian, hematite, and tiger's eye. They're all good for grounding, anxiety, stress. They come from the volcano itself. They are highly valued they're very rare. People say that they have them, but you have to get the real one.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Like there's a lot of fake ones out there.
Oh, yeah, I mean, 100%.
But you have to make sure that you're getting the real deal, right? A tiger eye should be glass and shiny. It shouldn't be dull, and there is a little bit of weight to it, not a lot. Stress, for me, has been a big part of my life in this last year and a half, and I've learned a lot. And I can go to mental health clinics, which I have been. I can do all the therapy in the world, and it does help. I also believe in your stress levels, also what you eat as well, right? And what is in your home and all kinds of triggers. But putting everything that I do for myself, the biggest thing that I really, really focus on for stress is meditation.
Yeah, it's
right?
a great one.
Right? And oils. There's all kinds of oils. Bergamot's one of them. But the biggest one that I feel for stress is hematite.
Really?
Absolutely. You wear that daily, whether around your neck, whether you wear it on a bracelet. There's no such thing as a hematite oil. There's not. It's a rock, and it's grounded down to make these little beads. And I've make these little triple protection, triple power bracelets. They have the tiger eye, the black obsidian, and the hematite, and it has power, protection, and balance. Balance is a huge thing for stress.
Michael talks about it all the time, don't you, Michael? Swelling. I want to go back.
Okay, the
before
swelling.
we go, because stress is a big part of
Yep.
it. But I want to get into this swelling issue because we have a lot of people that have a lot of inflammation in society, just because of what we eat and what we drink and everything else. So what's the combination for that?
Swelling is just black obsidian.
Black obsidian?
That's it.
Really?
Just black obsidian.
Wow.
It's in ancient times it was the wizard's stone. It is a phenomenal crystal to use when embarking on a deep spiritual journey or self-discovery as well. But the black obsidian bracelet that I've made and I've been really trying to promote big time with everybody. It helps with health, heart health, circulation, and it reduces swelling everywhere. And people say, "Oh, they don't believe it." And there's nothing I can say to tell you except you need to try it.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
I have sold the necklaces, I've sold the bracelets, the anklets, and I haven't had one person come back and tell me it doesn't work. I wear it every day. My girlfriends wear it. My family wears them. Rob wears it.
Yeah, I mean, you get this part of society that thinks, oh, that's just a placebo effect. I mean, I just don't believe that.
Right.
And I think most people should
neither.
just do the research.
Absolutely.
Dig in yourself and do your research.
Yeah, I didn't believe it neither.
Well, when you don't know something about a subject,
Right.
the first thing you do is become defensive against it because you don't have a way of communicating it.
Right.
So you say, okay, well, I don't know anything about this, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Right.
But if you have things in your life that are prevalent, like stress and anxiety, and you have swelling or inflammation, and I remember in 2013, I had a cold in the Caribbean, and which became a bacterial infection because I let it go too long. So I come home, I arrive, I go to the doctor, and they prescribe prednisone, which is a steroid. I ended up gaining 36 pounds in 6 weeks. So
that wouldn't look good on you.
No. And I was very upset about it. I worked so hard to get to where I was, and then all of a sudden I just take this one drug and it changes my whole life in regards to my daily activities. So you try to figure out, okay, well, that's not going to happen in my life again, and try to find alternative ways to be able to make sure that doesn't happen again. So I find out, okay, what causes mucus in the body, and I'm not going to get into a long story about it, but I found these triggers that caused it. And I asked my doctor, like, well, why didn't you ever tell me that? Like, he said, well, Dennis, that's not part of what I do.
Right.
They do this.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And that's why I think in this situation, if you do the digging and the research yourself,
Right.
you'd be pleasantly surprised that for a very small amount of money, it
Absolutely.
may help you.
Well, my son, who's 23 now, was born with a lot of health issues. He's got kidney disease. He's epileptic. He's got Tourette's. He has global developmental delay. He's my special child. So in 2016, he had his first seizure, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I was by myself, and anyways, over the time, he was on drugs and this and that and the other thing, and found this black obsidian bracelet.
Wow.
And I tell you, as true as I sit here, and I have no reason to make this up. My son has been wearing that bracelet since April of last year, and he was always dizzy. Like the medication they takes for this epilepsy can make you dizzy. And going up 2 steps, he would fall. Sometimes he would walk on a straight surface and feel like there was nothing there because he was so dizzy. It'll be a year in April of 2021 since my son had a dizzy spell or a seizure, and he wears his black obsidian bracelet every single
that's worth it in
day.
itself right there.
Even wears it to bed. If you can't wear it to bed at night, some people say, oh, I can't wear jewelry to bed, then put it under your pillow. Right? Because it's there. And my son wears it every day and doesn't get dizzy. And to see him walk up a flight of stairs without having to hold on to him or make sure he doesn't fall or be able to live in a home where there's stairs is very meaningful because of this product.
Now you get people, a lot of people try to implement themselves into a home business selling products. And I think it's a great idea because you meet a lot of people that way. But when you're passionate about something, that's a complete different game changer to me.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to promote or sell a concept when you're passionate about it, knowledgeable about it, and you've experienced it yourself. Because it's all about the story. Like, what story are you telling me or another individual? Because there's relatability.
Right.
So I always know someone in my family that may have a similar situation that happens in yours.
Right.
And if you have an option or an idea and it doesn't cost me, $90 or $200 or $300 a month in prescription drugs, whatever the case may be, which Kenny Lohr was in here the other day talking about big pharma and all that kind of stuff. You've got to be open to it because the shit that we've been sold for a long time from a lot of different companies that just really disregarded our health, disregarded us altogether. We were just lab rats and guinea pigs for them. When you can come out with something that you love to do, and I can see, like, when you pull out a bottle and say, Dennis, I made this, when you know you're doing it yourself.
Makes me feel so good inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then when I see people wear it and then I see people comment on it and I see what it's done for my children and some of my coworkers, my coworkers are my big foundation. They really support me. Tammy and Annette and Brenda, like, they really supported me through this whole thing. Like, huge. I can't explain to you enough how it excites me. I mean, yes, I get excited when I get off work at 4:30. But I love my job. And but when I get to go home and I get to, brew things up in my kitchen and add things to a bottle and make the labels and know that people are going to enjoy this product because it really does work. It really does. And it makes me very happy inside. It really, truly does.
Well, you're making a difference in the world.
Absolutely.
If we all did those types of things on a daily basis and we multiply it house by house, street by street, community by community, province by province, and country by country, this world would be a lot easier place to live in.
Absolutely.
It's just we got to multiply that effect rather than the negative effect.
Right.
And we've seen that in even in the political races in the United States recently, and there's a lot of negativity out there in the world, and we've got to kind of turn that switch and go into a different direction.
Yep.
Doing stuff like this is a part of it. Not the only thing, but it's a part of it for sure.
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
So let's talk about some of the other things that you have here, because I know you talked about this one in general. Like, so let's say, for an example,
the foot cream.
Yeah, well, you have people that wear a lot of flip-flops and walk barefoot.
And you get the cracks in the back of your feet, or you get the little splits by your toenails. You just put some of this little foot cream on. It's made with coconut oil and some essential oils. You rub it on, put a sock on at night. And it's gonna go away, of course, because you're putting something wet on it. But eventually, if you keep using the product, you don't get the cracks. So you have this nice, beautiful foot in a sandal.
and it's all natural. That's the
Absolutely,
thing. That's the
right.
difference. You see a lot of stores that sell products, but they're not all natural.
No, there's 3
right?
ingredients in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Right.
Or they sell the thing that just grinds your foot away.
Right, we don't want to grind.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to grind. I use that. I use that almost every night. I haven't used it in the last couple of nights, but I use it almost every night. I rub it on my feet after I have my bath, put my socks on, and go to bed, and I get nice toes, nice
Now,
feet.
another thing that people love to have is good breath. Right?
Oh,
You know,
this
they're the worst thing when you, hello,
yes.
whoa.
Well, there's mouthwash, which I do
think
make
it's right
here.
here,
Yeah, you have one there too.
Yeah.
So I have mouthwash here, and then it has a peppermint flavor. It's all natural. There is nothing in there that can hurt a child, an adult, or anybody with any chronic illnesses or anything. It's an all natural, great product. It also helps with your breath, but also helps whiten your teeth.
Right.
Right.
Because I know, like, a lot of the products you get out of a drugstore or a grocery store, it's all a lot of alcohol based. I mean, there are people that are alcoholics
Right.
that will walk into a grocery store and buy a bottle of mouthwash and drink it.
Right. This has distilled water, alcohol, and essential oils in it.
Right.
Right. And then, speaking of bad breath, we're all wearing masks these days.
Yes,
This is
let's
a
talk
mask
about that.
spray. So this has bergamot, distilled water, and vodka in it as well. And, you wear your mask, then you take it off, which I do every day. I wear a mask every day at work. In between patients, I take it off. I just give this little spray, and it just freshens my mask.
Which
your
I think
breath-
everyone can relate to that. That if
Absolutely.
you're breathing into a mask,
Yep.
especially a cotton mask,
Yes.
and you breathe into that thousands of times per day,
Mm-hmm.
you better either have a lot of mouthwash
Or
or a way to
something
be able to
else.
combat that for
Yeah.
sure.
And I have these little
Yeah, you showed those
I
to me
did.
too.
These are my nasal seasonal inhalers. They are just a little inhaler, just like they are, those little Vicks inhalers. Well, this here has essential oils in it. This is a seasonal inhaler, so it has lavender, peppermint, and I want to say cinnamon, but I'm not 100% sure. So I apologize. I've made so many of them, and you just inhale it, and when it runs out, you just call me, and I'll refill it for half the price.
My mother's a big proponent on essential oils. She has one of those machines that diffuses the oils into your air.
Okay, I have one of those too.
Yeah, and Mom is a big supporter of that. She always says, Denny, you gotta have that for whether you're here in Canada or whether you're in Cuba. You should have that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing that when you're actually absorbing those oils, what it actually does for you health wise.
Absolutely.
And
it makes you feel good. Like when last night I went out to a supper with my boss, and it was really nice. And I got home and I had a glass of wine. And I was tired and felt fatigued. I'm like, I wasn't ready for bed. It was only 8:30, so I just turned my diffuser on, put in some essential oils, and then I was fine. Like, I wasn't tired. I'm not saying that it's a miracle work or anything like that, but it just makes you feel good. And it's not just the smell, because they do smell good. It's what they do for you.
Yeah.
Right? And some of them, if you have animals, you really have to be careful of, who and what you use, because some aren't good for animals. You just have to research it, right?
So that's what we said in the beginning is do your research.
Absolutely.
If you have the ability to investigate, and if you don't want to spend an enormous amount of time, they can reach out to you.
Absolutely.
And say, hey, Theresa, like I own a dog, a cat, I've got 2 children this age. What do you think I should do? Then, because you're researching all the time, so they can just reach out to you as well. So it's something I think we all should do is dig a little deeper.
I found the obsidian beads too. They can be put in anything, but they're not like a lava rock, so you can't put oils in them. But I also find they're good for children that have ADHD.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, that would be huge in today's society.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're dealing with so many issues with kids, and it comes right from when the child's born. Really,
you just don't know it.
You don't. I mean, we consume so many things through our nose and through our mouth and through our skin that people don't realize what kind of battle goes on every day. Like, we're dealing with a virus right now that we're battling with in society that's changed our whole world, and that's one virus. But our bodies are dealing with a defense mechanism all day long.
I'm researching that.
Yeah, no, you should.
Oh, I am.
I mean, it's we in general society don't take the time to learn the things that are critically important in society. We tend to try to trust other people to do that. And what we see on television and what we hear on radio or even what we see on the internet in most cases, just because there's so many advertisements on the internet now. Like if you watch a YouTube video, like we're on our YouTube platform, you'll watch a show for 10 minutes and all of a sudden there'll be a commercial. And that commercial is based on who's investing money into the product, right? So it's not always the best information, you know, so you've got to dig a little bit in your own.
Absolutely.
You know, you just got to dig.
That's
and
right.
I think
you know what the old saying is, you are what you eat?
Yeah.
It's truly is, right?
Yeah. What you consume, what you breathe, what you drink. I mean, even myself, like we filter all of our water, you know. We made a conscientious decision to make sure that the water that we were drinking was filtered water.
Right.
And then we've even infused it with certain things that will kill little bad bacteria that floats around in that water, even when it is filtered.
Absolutely.
Right.
Put a little sprinkle of peppermint in your water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you have products that are artificially flavored, right? You might as well do something that's actual and natural,
That's
right? So let's keep digging. That's what I want to do. So you talk about this holiday spice product.
Yeah. It's the holidays. It's Christmas, right? So who doesn't want their house to smell good with a good product? So this is a holiday spray. I have them in a 10 milliliter and a 15 milliliter and a refill bottle. And this has distilled water, bergamot, and alcohol, and witch hazel, and essential oils.
Yeah, I mean, for me, and not just for the holidays. You can spray that any time of the year.
You can spray that too, and then you can spray this on if you have one, because I make them too. They're little rear view mirror hangers, and they have essential beads on them. They have heart shaped,
that's cool.
And then you just spray this on it, and your car smells good.
Yeah, absolutely. Rather than buying an artificial car freshener that's
full of ugly scents.
Stuff. We'll call it stuff.
Stuff.
We'll just call it stuff.
And I spray this in my sock and underwear drawer. Not sure why I do that, but I do because then my socks and underwear smell extra good. Just in case.
Precaution.
That's right.
Precaution.
That's right. That's all I really brought today. But if anybody is interested in anything or some information, I am in Hebbs Cross. I have a little office in my house, and
we're going to put all the links.
Yes.
Down bottom in the YouTube channel.
Okay.
We'll give you websites and Facebook links and all that kind of stuff so they can reach out to you. What I am is and I want to go dig a little bit more into you a little bit, is I'm proud that you've taken the step to do this.
Thanks.
It's something that it's not easy to do. And I think people need to figure out how to bridge the gap, because the economy today is so challenging to live in. You've got your children and you've got your grandchild and you've got your own life too. We talked about earlier is, you know, how do you figure all that out? And then how do you put the economics into it as well? If you can take something you love to do that's made a huge change in your life and then be able to turn it into a business model and a vehicle to be able to help your family economically, it's a win-win-win. A lot of people think, I don't make enough money in society. What do? Another job. I don't make enough money still. Another job. There's single moms out there, and you know this, 2, 3, 4 jobs at a time just to pay the bills. They lose all their freedom. They lose all their flexibility, right? Given you've empowered yourself to take something that you love to do, create a secondary income stream, and give yourself the flexibility to love your family the way you should, and you should be commended for that.
Oh, thanks.
And more women should take that opportunity to empower themselves that way. It's not going to be obviously the same vehicle that you've chosen, but if you take something you're passionate about, that you love to do, and then you incorporate it into your life in a small home business type of vehicle, like I said, you get the advantages of talking about a subject you love to talk about all the time and make it secondary or third income stream from it. Hallelujah. That's the way it should be. And we need more women in society doing that. So no problem at all. In studio today, Theresa Chase talking about a whole bunch of information that I think today, essential oils and well, it's just, we really need to dig some more. And if you do, reach out to her online, which all those links will be in the bottom of our YouTube channel. And look her up.
Yeah, I'm also at the Christmas markets on the Bridgewater Arena every Sunday. I have a little booth there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's something you can do. I mean, it's drop down to see her, reach out to her on Facebook, which is exactly what I did, you know, and I've known you for quite some time in our lives. So,
years.
the bottom line is that just reach out. And then if they have questions, you can answer those or put them in the right direction at least.
Absolutely. Yes.
Business Profile with Theresa Chase from the Weekly Woodcast with Dennis and Michael Woodworth. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.